Yeah.
Yeah! Are you blind, for Christ's sake? There's people walking here.
What's going on? The folk in town are talking about you.
They shot on me. That's what.
What? Who did?
All of them.
Wait. Tell me again from the start.
All right, if you want. They caught Peter of Dauba, George Weiss, and a fellow named Harold that everyone calls Frost. They're scum who've been hunted for months. Now they've finally been caught, there's a big execution being prepared. Folk will come from miles around to watch.
Well, that's a good thing for you, isn't it?
It would be, if I was fucking doing it.
Isn't it the custom for you to do all the executions in Rattay?
It is. Not just the custom, but by bloody right. You're not being replaced, they said. This is just a loan of Gallows Hill.
Well, there must be some reason for it.
If you know of one, spit it out.
So who's doing the job?
They invited Executioner Heinz all the way from Kuttenberg. They say it's going to be a big show. Have I ever fucked up an execution? I always behead them in one blow. And when his lordship wants to drag out a hanging, I leave them kicking for minutes. If he wants it quick, they're stiff as soon as I drop them. And they push me aside like that, after all these years of service.
What can we do about it?
Nothing. His lordship's decided, and that's that.
If you don't make a stand, it'll be worse next time.
It's an awful humiliation, as it is.
Then you're in the right. Don't tell me you can't think what to do about it.
The trouble is, they already paid the executioner, and he's come here along with his assistants.
We can't stop the executions, unless Heinz drops dead on the spot.
Maybe that could be arranged?
Hal, I'm an honorable man. What the hell are you suggesting?
I suppose not, then.
Well, I never. The best thing would be if he fucked up the executions. The famous Kuttenberg executioner can't handle the job. The mob would laugh him out of town and beg me to take over. They'd never invite him here again.
Great, so how do we go about it?
The problem is, I don't know what the sentences will be. They'll only announce them just before the executions, and then it'll be too late to do anything.
Can't we just get him blind drunk?
That wouldn't work. He's no beginner. And even if we did get him drunk, they'd just postpone the executions till he's sobered up.
Suppose I liberate the convicts.
Why the hell would you do that?
Well, it would be an embarrassment, and then...
Only for Rattay, you dolt. Not for the executioner.
Would the bailiff know more?
Maybe. But most likely only Heinz will know the sentence. I've got an idea, though. Will you help me?
Of course.
Great. Thank you, Henry.
So where should I start?
Find out from the bailiff what their crimes are, and then have a look in the Black Chronicle at the Rat House.
It goes back before my time. You're bound to find records of some similar offenders in it. You need to find people who committed the same crimes, and came from the same sort of background, noble or lowborn. That way you can find out what the appropriate punishments are.
Then come back to me, and we'll work out what to do.
I'll get moving.
And Henry?
Hmm?
They want to do the executions on my gibbet at Gallows Hill. I can hold them up for a while, but probably no more than a week.
I'll bear that in mind.
Look at you, lover boy.
Would you like to get up to some more mischief? It was fun the last time.
Yes, it was. I'm a bit surprised you thought so too. Although a girl doesn't get a chance to tend the wounds of a gallant defender every day. It's quite late to be going out somewhere just now. Will you come tomorrow?
I could do with a bite to eat.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
I hear there's going to be a big execution here.
There certainly is. It'll be a glorious event for our town. They'll be talking about it for years.
Who's for the chop?
The biggest outlaws and reprobates for miles around. Peter of Dauba, George Weiss, and Frost Herald.
What did they do?
What didn't they do, more like? They caused trouble all over the country.
Who's this Peter of Dorbo?
A noble who lost his fortune. He's been holding up merchants for months.
That's all?
At first, but then his gang started getting bloodthirsty. They wiped out a whole squad that was hunting them. He won't walk away from this.
What can you tell me about Herald?
They call him Frost because he's always cool as ice, until he starts. I've seen plenty of killers and thugs in my day, but that one's got the devil in him.
Why?
They say the only thing that'll put a smile on his face is the sound of screaming and weeping. That beast kills for pleasure. When they caught him, he had a candle made from the arm of an infant. For luck, he said.
Christ. What about Weiss?
No one actually knows where he came from, but they say the murdering started with him. He never leaves witnesses. He'd rather wipe out a whole village than take a chance.
Thanks, Bailiff. That's all I need to know.
Goodbye.
vegetables, fruit, apples, cucumbers.
My respects to you. Farewell.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I'm looking for someone they call Riki.
That's the tanner's son, Enoch.
Where can I find him?
Hard to say. He's not around here much. Thank God for small blessings. You could try his folks' place.
What can you tell me about this Hinek?
What can I tell you? No, he's none too popular. No one cares to talk to him.
Why not?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I heard he keeps bad company.
What's the tanner like? Hinek's father.
The less I see of him, the better. He's not exactly sparkling company.
Why do they call him Riki anyway?
Why do you think? Because he's a tanner, of course.
So why don't people like him?
The old tanner's not an easy man. But a son should never let his father down. Enoch does nothing to help. He's always far too busy with his own affairs, though I wouldn't like to say what those are.
And does no one at all talk to him?
That harlot Adela hangs around with him, of course.
Harlot?
She works as a bathhouse wench. Same thing. Goodbye.
Cheers!
Here we are.
Jesus!
God watch over you, good night, especially in these dark times. Can I do something for you?
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
I just wanted to ask you a few questions. It's not my business how you live your life.
I'm glad to hear it. Some folk don't care for the way I make a living.
I can imagine.
So, what about you then? You look a bit careworn. A bath with a bit of company might do you good.
Maybe later, sweetheart. Right now, I have some questions to ask.
Ask away then.
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
Look, Hinek's my friend, and I really need to know where he is and what he's doing.
But I already told you I don't know where he's got to.
So I suppose he just goes to the woods to pick mushrooms, does he?
Mushrooms? No. More like hares or other game.
So Hinek is a poacher? That's no surprise.
Well, he was never much of one for an honest trade.
Do you know exactly where he goes? Maybe he has some favourite spot he might have told you about?
He said he has some hideout in the woods, but he didn't tell me where.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you. Is it true?
What?
Other whores wouldn't go with him even for money?
The other bathhouse girls are honest, so I don't know. The truth is, I felt a bit sorry for him. Folk don't like him, but it's only 'cause his old man is a grouch and a tanner.
I heard they don't like him because he keeps company with villains.
True enough, but they didn't like him before that either. Or me. They're close-minded yokels. Both of us are the black sheep of the village.
There's nothing more between you?
No, nothing. Maybe Hinnick thinks differently, but that's how it goes. God bless. Good luck then.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is someone there? Who's there? Hey, who's there? I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
I'm looking for your son. Any idea where he might be?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hinnick shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like... Like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hynek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. I'd like to talk to you about your Hynek.
I'm very busy, so make it quick.
Do you at least know any friends he's with, or someone he goes to see?
As far as I know, nobody here in the village talks to him.
I heard he's seeing some bathhouse wench.
Maybe. He can't get it for free, so I suppose he has to go to the baths.
Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there, is all.
How's that?
'Cause every time he brought some hides for tanning, and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then. What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know. Hynek never told me nothing.
I know he didn't talk to you about it, but you must have noticed something, right? How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know? Go. And if he's really in as much shit as you say... try and find... Mother of God!
Yeah. Just don't get it.
What don't you get?
Why do we have to sniff around for some stinking tanner? Can't we just leave him be?
Don't be such a knucklehead. Of course we can't leave him be. Runt would slit your throat if he heard you.
But he's just some cowardly peasant. What can he do to us?
You really can't get it into your thick skull, can you? It's about our fucking reputation.
How can it help our reputation? Folk already shit themselves when they see us.
God-fearing folk, maybe. But in this trade, even your own people have to be afraid of you. Otherwise, they might get the idea they can do without you. Get it?
All right. But that fellow ain't one of us, though.
You moron. That's just why we have to get him, right? So no one else tries it on.
It's all the same to me. I'll skewer him anyway. Just I can't be bothered looking for him.
Well, while we're at it, did you ask about him at the village?
Aye. Nobody knows where he is. Seems he's always wandering off somewhere.
We'll wait and see what the chief says then.
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hynek.
But ask someone else. They've nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hynek's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone. I just need to know where Riki is. It's urgent.
What have our deals got to do with where he disappeared to?
More than you think. It's likely Riki is hiding out at his poaching lair. And believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him, and it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them. Poaching's a crime, after all.
All right, all right. But give me your word of honor you won't tell anyone about our deal.
You have my word.
Fine. So, what do you want to know?
I hear Hinek has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
Not exactly. That is... I don't know where it is at all.
But
I happen to know it's a dark place. A cave or an old mine shaft.
how do you know that?
Whenever Riki was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so we had to have a light for that.
How much game did he bring you?
Not much, a few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes the gentry has something, otherwise it ends up in sausages.
And do you know of any mine shafts nearby?
There's a few of them around. There's one on the opposite bank, a short way off the path leading from the forge to the west. Then there's a mine gallery to the east of the village, up in the woods above the cliffs. And I heard there's one shaft on the headland close to the water.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Watch you don't break your neck, though. It's rough ground, and you could easily fall down a shaft. Take care now.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you have no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
That's not important. The important thing is we have a common foe.
Considering all the enemies I have, the odds of that are pretty high.
I'm talking about the gang that raided the Neuhof stud farm. I know you were there.
I was, but I've got nothing in common with those bastards.
I'll take your word for it, providing you tell me what you know.
I don't know why you should care. If it keeps my neck out of the noose, I'll spill the beans.
That Neuhof raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there, mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhof. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard while they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything that moved, then we knew there was no going back.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was 4 of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh, and Pius Pavan. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest, and he'd mostly find the jobs for us. Plan them and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhof, too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox. with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
Who got your two gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. That was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. A hold up on the road now and then, nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhof.
Did you know any of Runt's people?
Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid?
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. But Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. And in the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sods pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, we could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. I knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so he'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them, and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so bucketed from the raid, they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
That's all I need to know. So now what do I do with you?
Well?
Hey, over here! It's up the hill. Shh. Chief, we found the cave.
Shut up. He'll hear you.
Shit. Runs, people. We've got to get out of here.
They're too close. We'll never outrun them.
Fuck!
At least they don't know I'm here. The two of us can take them by surprise.
No fucking way. I'm gone.
Look here. If you run, they'll catch up with you and kill you. And me too. Together, we stand a better chance.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I suppose you're right.
Who's there? What's going... Well, look what's come crawling out from under some rock. What's up there? Oh, dear God.
I've got some more questions.
What?
You're coming with me. Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush will want to hear what you've got to say.
Don't suppose there's any chance you might turn a blind eye.
Why should I?
I didn't do nothing all that bad, and I told you everything I know. You can tell them yourself, and leave me here, and in a few weeks I'll pack up and clear off.
It might be best if you disappeared. You're no use to me anymore anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll remember this till the day I die.
Best just try living honestly.
I'll do my best. I promise. Hey!
Shouldn't you tidy yourself up a bit?
Do you still feel like doing something together?
Shall we play Blind Man's Buff?
That's really what you want to do?
I know it's a game for children, but I always liked it, and I won't feel stupid playing it with you.
All right, why not?
Good. Then follow me. No, but... It's a game for little children. Of course I'm embarrassed.
Well, adults play it too, you know.
But only when they're drunk.
I'll cover my eyes.
Well, they do say love is blind.
Cheeky boy. But this is a game you won't be winning. I've got ears sharper than a bat's.
And I'm as stealthy as a cat. You'll never find me.
We'll see. But if you leave the barn, you lose. Come here. Come on, spin me around. What are you waiting for?
Blind I may be, deaf I'm not. Make a sound, and you'll get got. How does it go after that?
It doesn't matter. Go and hide.
Here? I bet you're here. No? Just you wait. I'll find you. Where are you? What was that? Was that you? You're a sneaky one. How come I didn't hear you? Oh no! I've left clothes out to dry. We have to bring them in before they get soaked. Hey. Oh no, it's completely soaked.
You'll have to put it by the stove to dry.
No, that would just make it reek of smoke. Help me bring it to the hay.
It's sopping wet.
Not afraid of thunderstorms, are you?
Not anymore.
Shouldn't we spread the linen out?
Henry, hush now.
about that evening.
Ah, yes. I never thanked you properly for helping me with the laundry. That storm would have carried it off to God knows where.
Oh, I think you thanked me enough. But next time we should take shelter somewhere else. That hayseed gets into places it shouldn't, and itches like mad.
Henry, you donkey. You really know how to sweet-talk a girl, don't you? And anyway, what do you mean by next time? Just what exactly do you have in mind for the two of us?
Well, we'll be together, like a couple. And when the time comes, you'll take me as your husband, right?
You're full of yourself, aren't you? But that's not how things are done.
Well, obviously, under normal circumstances, I'd ask your pa for your hand, but...
Papa? Yes. He'd set the dogs on you. Now you'd have to get Uncle Peshek's blessing.
I reckon I'd have no better luck with him. Unless he saw a way to profit from it.
And I'd have a sack of flour for my dowry. But seriously, Henry, what kind of husband would you make? You can't sit still in one place for an hour at a time.
Well, I've got a lot of duties, but... I'm very fond of you, you know. And maybe one day...
I know, you silly sod. We can't get married yet. But we can still see each other and be fond of each other.
I've got something that needs stitching up. Could you do it for me?
All right. I can't have you walking around in torn rags, can I? Show it here.
Good health to you. I'll see you later.